Hey guys, it's Saturday afternoon here in Manila, and our plans did get rained out today, so I'm going to go ahead and do a video today. And this video is the one that I was going to wait and do for Monday, the comparison of the Buick Grand National castings from Hot Wheels. I'm going to do the original Buick Grand National that was released first in the main line in 2007 and compare it to the Buick Grand National GNX casting just released about a month ago in the Fast and Furious Premium Set Motor City Muscle, because they are two totally different castings. And before anyone criticizes, yes, the GNX and the Grand National, same exact car. The GNX just had fender flares added to it and then fender louvers or fender gills. I call them portholes because I think that's why McLaren added them, to kind of give it that Buick heritage thing, because Buick used portholes on a lot of their cars' fenders ever since like the 1940s. So it's a kind of a trademark thing of Buick. But anyways, that's the only difference, is those little ports on the front fender and then some flares and different wheels and tires. That's the only visual difference. Then the performance, of course, bigger turbo, bigger intercooler, and some suspension tweaking. But besides that, though, the car is 100% an 87 Buick GN. That's what Buick actually sent McLaren back in 87, was 547 Buick Grand Nationals to be modded. And I know people even start some rumors that there are different colors, and no, there wasn't. They were all black. And if they were a different color, that was done at the dealership, not at McLaren and not at Buick. And it may have been done even after that people bought the car and took it somewhere else. They may have been a different color right after they bought it, but they were all black. Kind of like Henry Ford's motto: you can have my Model T in any color you want as long as it's black. That was kind of the Grand National thing. So you could have Grand National in any color you want as long as it's black. Now, if you did honestly want another color, then you would opt for the Buick T-Type. But anyways, that's enough about the Buick history. So this casting and the new one for Fast and Furious should be pretty similar. So here is the one that was released in 2007. This is your first edition. This one I liked a little better because the 5-spokes kind of, I don't know, look a little better than the FTE wheels for looking a little more realistic in a way. But anyways, this is the one that you would find hanging on the pegs in the main line back in 2007. And this car was a fresh blister pull, but it does have like some paint issues, like blemishes and such, but hey, just a mainline car. Now, one thing I hated about this casting was this, the removable front clip. And actually, let me get it off camera so I don't knock the camera over to try to get this off. So there we go. Sometimes it's hard to get the front clip off. But this is the one thing I never understood, why they did this to this car. And it does look like it has twin turbos and so on, but it's really could have just had an opening hood and that would have been sufficient. Because it really killed the body lines of this car, having this removable front clip. And that's why it took me a while to really get into this car, because as you can see, after the clip is back on, that body line just doesn't look right for the removable front clip. Even having a tilt front end would have been better than the removable front end, but still I would opted for just an opening hood, if anything. So yeah, that kind of killed this casting for me. So I really didn't collect many of these up until 2000, I think it was 12, when the Boulevard series came out. Then I bought this one, because it does look pretty realistic to Buick, because the wheels being black centers kind of give it that more like factory appearance, although the wheels were like chrome with like black center caps and black painted, I don't know, slots on the wheels. Don't know how else to call them, the stock Buick GN wheels. But this looked good, and it was the first time ever they released this car with rubber tires, so that was really cool. And the only thing that I thought was a downside of it then, but now it's not too bad, is this satin black finish. And at least now in the Boulevard series, we see a slight detail with the headlights being painted. And as I said, rubber tires, all metal casting, metal body, metal chassis. And it even has the Buick tail light on the rear spoiler. And I don't think the first edition did not have that. But still, yeah, no painted tail lights, which was a downside. But still, yeah, a pretty cool casting, and this is pretty sought after nowadays. This one, I can't remember where I got it. I got it here in the Philippines, but I got it loose. It wasn't like in the blister pack or anything like that, and this one still had the removable clip, but they did go with a gray interior, which is more authentic than the chrome interior of the first edition. But they wanted the motor to be chrome, so I can understand why they went with chrome. But this actually looks more suiting because all Grand Nationals had gray interior. That was another trademark thing. You could have a Grand National with any color interior you want as long as it's gray. So something like that. So let me get this off camera so I can put the clip back on a little better. There we go. So this is a really cool car. I actually really liked it, but still yet hate that body line and hate how the front end looks stubby compared to the rest of the car. It just looks too short. I think I pointed that out in my Grand National comparison video between all brands, and that was my downside of this casting. And it also looks a little bit chopped, like the roof is not as tall as what it should be. I guess you could say like I'm a connoisseur of G-bodies, so that's why I'm a little bit picky of these, because I've owned numerous G-bodies and it just doesn't look proper. But it doesn't look bad either. So as I said, I'm not really criticizing it too much. I do like the car. So let's move along and take a look at the new one. Actually, before we go to the new one, I'm going to open up the three that I think are the most sought after versions of this car. And this is number one being the Real Riders RLC release in the black chrome with the red lines, and then the Watanabe style wheels. So I will open him up in a minute, and then I'm going to open probably the second most sought after one, probably is the Boulevard. Then I would say comes this, the Modern Classics. Now there are two color variants of this one. All I have to open today is the blue and black, but there is a maroon and black, or maroon and gray. But anyways, there are two Modern Classics. Then probably the last one would be the Hot Ones. And this one has already been opened before because they had put a rubber band on it to hold the front end on. And I don't know why they chose to do that on this casting. They've never done it before, but they put a rubber band on this one, and I know how the rubber bands react to the paint on the 100% cars. That's why I've already opened this once to remove the rubber band. So anyways, I'll get these guys out, and then we'll move on to the new casting. That way you guys can see these cars up close and personal. I don't know if anybody else has had this on YouTube yet with opening these guys up, especially the RLC Redline Club car, the Real Riders car. And this one has actually went up quite a bit in value over the past few years. A lot of cars have it. It's kind of shocking, like the IROC and things like that from RLC has went up tremendously. So here is your RLC Real Riders car out of the package with that like black chrome paint, those Watanabe style 8-spoke wheels, and then I think that's what's on it, yeah. And then the red line tires, and finally painted taillights and a license plate that's 87 Grand National. And this is the first time that Hot Wheels has ever signified a year on this car. Even on the package, it doesn't say 87. It always just said Buick Grand National. So that's the first time they've ever pointed that out, and I just kind of noticed that it had the year. So really cool with all the detailed lights and all the emblems, detailed headlights, turn signals, front marker lights, everything. And then it has a black plastic interior, also removable front clip, and no, it's actually gray. The glass is smoked, so it gives it a little bit different look. So very cool. And actually a little bit of more detail where the plastic coloring is different. Maybe it is a dark gray interior inside, and they painted the motor silver. So, but it is a premium RLC car that you pay $20 for, so it should be. I mean, a little extra detail and such. And anyways, pretty cool. Nice reflection to the paint. Some spots here and there, but hey, no big deal. Nice car, nice casting. Finally sees the light of day after, I think this came out in 2012. So it's been locked up for a while. Maybe it was 13. Yeah, 2013. So yeah, he's been in captivity for 7 years. So he's finally loose and out of the package. So pretty cool car. So that, I would say, is the most sought after variant of this car. Number 2 is going to be your modern classics, and very surprising that these cars are as desirable as what they are, being plastic tire cars, but people went crazy over them. I think the Silverado is the most desired one, maybe the Honda Civics, not sure, but for me this is the most desirable one out of all of them. And it's like a blue metal flake, black insert, and some kind of silver striping. So it kind of looks like a lowrider paint job. It looks like a Buick Regal that you would see with like Dayton wire spoke wheels on it. So pretty cool. Painted headlights, no detailed tail lights. And after a while, they started actually sealing off the front clip, but this is not one of them. This still has the removable front end, chrome engine, but it also has that chrome interior and such. So pretty cool car. Still yet need to find the maroon one. But yeah, this is one of the very few like Grand Nationals that I've bought with the plastic wheels. And this is actually a series that I will buy cars out of when I do find them. That I usually, as I said before, don't collect plastic tire cars unless nowadays like the Hot Wheels ID cars are pretty cool, and then the modern classics, and then some of the hot ones and other things like that. Maybe I don't know, those new ones, I forget the name of the series. I don't know if it's Flying Customs again or what they released this year with the new 510 and stuff, and the R30 Skyline. Those are pretty cool too. I would like to get some of those because they kind of have the old style, like I guess they were Hot Ones wheels, the gold black walls. They were pretty cool. So there you go. One last look at the modern classics. So let's go to the retro Hot Ones Grand National. So this is what that car would have looked like back in the early 80s if it would have been released. But even back then, this car didn't even exist then, so it would be hard to release it. Back in when this was hot, I guess it was like 83, something like that. Even though the Grand National is around, but it wasn't as, I guess you could say, popular as what it is nowadays. And I've always loved them, but the Fast and Furious is kind of what gave this car its 15 minutes of fame. Same thing with like the GTX, the 71, 72 GTX, and the Daytona and everything like that. Cars that a lot of collectors that are not really into real cars, that are just into collecting the toys, only notice these cars because of the F&F movies. But hey, it's great that the cars are finally getting the acknowledgement that they deserve. So there is your Hot Ones. I think they make a Chase variant of this one. The Chase one had just white lettering that said the Hot Ones. Or red lettering, some of them had. Like the El Camino from this series has the, where it says the Hot Ones on it. It's a yellow El Camino with white lettering on the tires. Or the stock one, or the non-Chase one, has the black walls. And I don't know why they put a rubber band on this front end to keep it on, because these front ends are really hard to get off sometimes, especially if you're trying to be delicate not to chip paint and things, because you actually got to slide them forward then lift up to get it off. So I don't see this like falling off, even being bumped around during shipping. But anyways, this is different because it has black engine, black interior, and this is an all-metal casting versus like, well, actually the Modern Classics is also all-metal, which is nice. And then the RLC one, I think, is a plastic base, actually, to be honest with you. I think it's just your chrome plastic. But kind of a downside for a car that you pay $20 for. But yeah, this is a cool car, and it has cool graphics because it has the Grand National emblem on the door, so that is pretty cool. And then it has lettering on the quarter panel. It says Grand National, and all the graphics kind of tie into the emblem a little bit. So kind of cool paint job. A little retro. It's something that you would like see maybe more in the 70s than in the 80s, but still, yeah, pretty cool. So that is all of our like high end of the first release. I think that is most of the desirable cars from this from this casting. The RLC, the Boulevard, the Modern Classics, and then the Hot Ones. And then, of course, the 5-spoke first edition. I think that's probably the second hardest to find. There was a blue one that was like a Kmart K-Day release, and it was pretty desirable and rare too. Now, we have the first release of the F&F series by Hot Wheels. Just a mainline car put in basically a F&F package, because these were still only like $1, maybe $1.50 at Walmart. This series came out in 2015, so this is the first appearance of this Grand National in this F&F card series. They do have a second one that is more of like a satin black, I think, that came out in 18, something like that. Let's get him out and look at him. And I have this one here because of the fact that it is the first, not the first time, but I think the one time that this car has a sealed front end. That's why I wanted to show you guys this one, because later on they don't even have like removable front clips anymore. They started sealing it off, as you can see how it's seamed on there now. Still has that hideous line there, but it is now non-removable. So no engine detail, no removable clip, and they started this, well, probably right around 2014. So this is the first appearance of the F&F car, or the F&F Grand National, so be it, but it's no more than the first edition with now a non-removable front end and gray interior and different wheels. So pretty much the same thing. As you can see, front end still looks too stubby and nothing new. And the only thing I see is like some white lettering on the bottom of the door on this side. That's the copyright for the movie, and they did that on the new Ecto too, on the rear quarter, and I hate that. I don't know why they put it on the body of the car. That looks horrible. They should have put it on the bottom. If you open up your Ecto 1 and look at the passenger side, you'll see it on the rear quarter panel back here. The new Retro Entertainment Ecto 1 says TM blah 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 Universal Studios on it. So I don't know why they did that. I may, if I don't put that back in the package, I may take acetone to that and fix it, because that does look horrible. So now on to the new one. This one is beautiful. This actually could take over as my favorite Grand National that I have. Let me get it out so we can get a closer look at it. This actually looks as good as the Johnny Lightning ones. The scaling is really nice, and it is probably the most accurate GNX that I think is available to date. Because I did say that about the new Maijo release of the Grand National GNX, but I was saying the wheels are not so perfect, and the louvers on the fenders were only tampos and so on. Well, this one, the louvers are actually part of the casting in the fender, so that's perfect. I mean, that's how it should have been. As you can see, the indentations, it's not just a sticker, it is actually indentations in the front fender, and they did a heck of a job. The overall casting size, I think, is probably spot on with scaling. It has accurate detailed tail lights, the emblem on the rear deck lid. Everything looks good. Even it looks like it has the GNX flares on it there. They emphasized a bigger flare on the wheel opening too. Detailed headlights, even the GNX emblem in the grille. So they did a superb job on this car. Love this casting. Actually, as I said, this is probably now by far my favorite Buick GNX 164th. The wheels and tires are, they're okay. I mean, they represent like kind of what Dom had on the Buick in the movie. They were not stock. They were whole, like black ones with holes. I don't even know what type of wheel they would have been. And then the roof line on this one looks a lot more accurate. So let's take a look at it comparing to, I don't know, let's go ahead and use the most high-end RLC. So as you can see, even the length of this car is much longer. The front end is no longer stubby. You could see like how bad that looks now looking at it next to a new casting, and how much that body line took away from the car, and it just looks like the front end was sloping down way too much. And as I said, look at the roof line, how it looks chopped. You can see how short that window is and how much bigger this window is. Even the rear tail panel, and you can see even the width of the car is different. So yeah, the new one is a little bit wider and definitely a lot longer. I would say, well, 1/8 of an inch longer, maybe even 1/4 of an inch longer. So this new one, hands down, takes the cake. It's a very beautiful casting. I would like to get a couple more of these and do a wheel swap on it. Try to find something that represents the Buick GNX wheels. They're like a black honeycomb style, like Trans Am honeycomb style wheel. So actually there's some GTAs from Green Light, the I think Black Bandit GTA, like 91, 92 Trans Am. The wheels on it would look great on this car. Then you would have a spot on exact GNX. So that's the only thing this car needs, is a set of GNX honeycomb style wheels. But this is it, guys. As I said, I'm giving it fair like comparison, because I took out all of the best ones. And if you don't want something so shiny, let's go ahead and look at the Boulevard one. And it's just much better. As even like here, the body looks too thick, or it may be just because the roof is so short, But still yet, I mean, the car was designed to be a mainline kids toy back in 2007. So really nothing that bad. I mean, considering what it was designed for. Now, this was designed more for us adult collectors. So they did a heck of a job on it. And actually, I think there's something in the metal, like the casting of this car, because every single one that I showed you guys today has those spots on the doors. As you can see, even on the RLC, on this one, then on the first edition, I think it had some spotting on the door. But anyways, yeah, it may be just something in the mold when they're casting this car, that it has these like little spots in the metal mold or something. But anyways, still yet, nice cars, nice castings. I will still buy more of the first release from 2007, but not many. There's only a couple more out there that I want, and it would be the Modern Classics in maroon, and then if they do have a chase variant, white lettering on the tires of that Hot Ones, then definitely I would buy it. So yes, that's actually the only two I think I would buy. So let's move this in and kind of give you a overview of like looking at these car. You can just see how much better the front end is on it and everything. So yeah, this car is perfect. Yeah, I absolutely love that casting. So yeah, I highly recommend the new one. The old ones are not bad. As I said, they're still great cars, but they are absolutely no comparison to the new one. So guys, hope you enjoyed this video. On Monday, we will be doing another premium unboxing, but I have the Series 2 Liquid Gold Moon Eyes cars from M2 that I will be unboxing, and one of them is the Chase Camaro. So I didn't get the regular variant Camaro, I actually got the Chase variant, and it's in a sealed box, so we'll be taking it straight from the brown cardboard box, even with the display box and everything. So you'll see it step by step being unboxed one by one, including the Chase. So make sure you tune back in for that, and thank you for subscribing, thank you for watching, and if you guys have any questions, please leave them in the comments. Please remember to give me a thumbs up and turn on your bell notifications so you know when I do release some more videos. So have a great weekend, and I will see you on Monday. Thanks, guys.